Hi, my name's Tom Leveen, and I'm an award-winning genX young adult novelist. In the 80s and 90s, we didn't have likes and hearts and comments. We had Friday and Saturday nights. We had every day after school at Matt's house. And we carried a 10-pound VHS video camera on our shoulders everywhere we went to capture it all. Hundreds of hours of uncensored, unfiltered, and unscripted friendship and drama. This is my high school ex. On this episode of My High School Ex, it's December 20th, 1989, and me and my friends hang out at Matt's house and we smoke, and we cuss, and we look shit up in the dictionary. Cause we're badass. I don't know, I'm sorry. Start the tape.
That kid reminds me of me. What?
By the way, I'm showing this to my parents.
Yeah, right. Hello, Mr. Leveen.
So that was Matt, and we are at Matt's house. And at this point in our lives, we are still apprehensive about swearing in front of our parents. And we certainly don't want them to know that we're smoking, because we'll all get our asses kicked, and it's this whole thing. But Matt's parents smoked, and so naturally, that's where we went. We could smoke inside, and then when we went home and said, or when we went home and your parents are like, "Why do you smell like smoke?" You say, "Oh, it's Matt's parents. Like, obviously, I'm not doing it. That would be crazy." Because we thought we were fooling them. We weren't, but it felt like maybe we were. They let us think we were fooling them, so that was very nice of them. Thanks, parents. Anyway, this is Matt's house. That's Matt. I've known Matt the longest out of all these guys. We go back to like 1986, maybe 87 at the outside. So it's been a very, very long time and a very, very long friendship. And this is kind of where it all starts, because this is maybe the third or fourth night that I've had my brand new VHS video camera, the Olympus camera that I got for Christmas in 1989. And from here on out, it's just we're going to take that thing everywhere we go. So, enjoy the rest of the episode.
Tom will go get it.
That was me who just walked by. Let's watch that again in slow motion. Wow, that was a mullet. Now listen, I need to explain this, okay? Because it wasn't like any of us set out to have mullets. We weren't hockey players. We didn't set out like, let's grow mullets. Okay, for me, speaking personally, I just wanted long hair. The fact that it grew longer, more quickly in the back had nothing to do with the fact that it was a mullet. As you can see, I've got bangs. I was growing my bangs out too, so I don't want to hear any smart-ass comments in the comment section about my mullet, all right? It was a mullet. I didn't know it. That's not what we called it, okay? It was long hair. Fuck.
No, seriously. The situation in Panama, guys.
So that's our friend formerly known as Joel, who, if he ever watches this, is now never going to speak to me again for saying that. But, you know, I just wanted to point this out, that we did talk about very serious things. On this particular day, the United States invaded the nation of Panama.
Good morning, Panama!
Panama had declared war on the United States. We never declared war on them, it turned out. But, wow, we pretty much just cleaned them out. It didn't really I mean, it's the United States against Panama, you guys. Like, I'm sure maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you heard about it in a history class somewhere, but it's not like, World War II, Panama. It doesn't quite work that way. But so we were trying to have a very serious political discussion. It just devolved from this point into a discussion about things you can look up in the dictionary. Yeah.
Guys, guess what? For our show, we get a special guest star.
Tony!
Straight from Panama! Yeah! He's flying a helicopter! He's flying an F-15 in Panama.
So that was Mike making the introductions, and that was Tony, who we just introduced. Now, Mike making a big, celebration about somebody we knew very well happening to show up this particular night. That's kind of par for the course for Mike, because that's just the kind of guy he is. Tony, I wanted to introduce specifically here because, honest to God, this may be the last warm reception we give Tony from here on out for the next, 8 years. I'm so sorry, dude. I don't know what got into us. We apparently needed a scapegoat, and Tony was it. We gave him a raft of shit for years, and he's a stand-up guy. He was a stand-up guy then. He's a stand-up guy now. If I called him right now and said, dude, I probably wouldn't have to say anything else. I could just say, dude, and he'd be like, what do you need? You know, and yet we just ripped him apart every chance we got, and I don't know why. I have no idea why, and I regret it to this day. So Tony, if you watch this, I'm so sorry. I don't know what we were thinking other than the fact that we were teenagers. We were children. We didn't know. But we'll see a lot more of Tony. We'll see a lot more of Mike, so just stay tuned.
Okay, let's look up naughty words. What do you want to look up first?
Fuck!
We were 15.
This is actually in a dictionary. Fornication.
That's in the Bible even.
Voluntary sexual intercourse between two unmarried persons or two persons not married to each other.
Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Okay, so that was our friend Tim looking up fornication in the dictionary. We looked up other things too, but I just wanted to show you that one in case you were wondering what it meant to fornicate. Now you know. It's in the Bible even, as Tony points out. Again, we were 15, and hey, at least we were doing this and not doing out doing other terrible things, right? So, back off.
So we're a bunch of informal, hostile, disgraceful companions, lacking hue and color.
Yeah!
We are the Black Dot Society.
So, the last set of words we looked up in the dictionary was Black Dot Society. Can't go into it now. It's going to take way too long. In fact, it's probably going to take the entire series of My High School X to explain just exactly what the Black Dot Society was. So stay tuned. We'll get back to it.
My friends, I don't know the word.
So this is the end of this particular footage, not the end of the whole tape, because of course it's a 2-hour VHS tape, so there's lots more footage on this tape, but I just wanted to do one episode really quick to kind of get things going, have kind of a pilot episode. Before we wrap up, though, I want to tell you really quickly about my novel Party. This was my first novel, my debut novel with Penguin Random House in hardcover many, many years ago, and it is about high school students at a graduation party. And yes, all of these guys are in this book in one way, shape, or form. They're all in there. I'm in there. They're not plucked out of real life and dumped into the story, though, because that doesn't work for fiction. It's a bad idea. So if you're a writer, please don't do that. But are there aspects of them in this book? Absolutely. This is a great, great novel about 11 kids and at this graduation party where an act of violence sort of centers the whole thing. It's 11 chapters. Every chapter is told from a different kid's point of view. I challenge you, I dare you to click the link and read the first sentence or the first page. If you don't keep reading, cool, forget about it. But if you do keep reading, then you have to buy the book, all right? Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. I will put a link in the description. Meanwhile, for My High School X, this is it for this episode. Next week, Paunch falls in love and John gets in an 18-car pileup. The week after that, John falls in love and Paunch gets in an 8-car pileup. So it'll be really cool. It'll be lots of fun. I hope you're enjoying the show. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The likes and the shares and the comments are huge. They're so important to YouTube. So share this around. And yeah, again, if you have any questions, comments, please go ahead and leave them in there and then tell your friends all about it. Because the journey, my friends, to My High School X is just beginning. This last bit that I just showed you, this going into the fade out, the thing I wanted to end on was you can see and hear the unfettered joy. And that's one of the reasons we were such good friends then and why we continue to be friends to this day all these years later. If you have friends like that, if you have friends when you hang out, I don't care if you're 15 or 45 or 85, and you feel that type of joy when you're hanging out with them, then keep hanging out with them. It's really kind of that simple. Nothing, can't make it any more exciting than that. So I will see you in the next episode of My High School X. See ya.